Hello and welcome to another Radical Red challenge run. Today I'm using a team full of Sevii mons, which are basically regional variants, exclusive to Radical Red, brand new type-ins, brand new abilities, and some really cool mons. All Sevii mons are available in New Game Plus. All you need to do is go to Nurse Joy, go to the mystery gift and type in the code Sevii, and you get all first stage versions of the Pokemon. There are I think there's 12 in total, but I'm obviously only using 6, and I'll leave the other 6 as a surprise for anyone that wants to play Radical Red and wants to use the other Sevii mons. But at first, I've got Noivern with the Rock Ghost type-in, holding the Choice Band, Curse, U-Turn, Stone Edge, Spirit Lock. Curse is mainly there for Primal Dialga against Lance. The rest is just good coverage. Choice Scarf Dodrio, which is a Fire Ground type, becomes super fast, outspeeds everything, Headlong Rush, Flare Blitz, Jump Kick, U-Turn, good coverage, should do a lot of damage. And then have Zebstrika, which is an Ice Electric type, holding the Life Orb, an Electric Immunity with Lightning Rod, Volt Switch, Freeze Dry, Thunderbolt, the Stab, and Quick Attack for a bit of priority. Got Ursaring, Ghost Fighting type, holding the Flame Orb with Guts, Drain Punch, Protect, Shadow Punch, Shadow Sneak. Pretty obvious set. We have Center Scorch, Ground Bug. It has White Smoke. When it Mega Evolves, it gets Arena Trap. So I have Stone Edge, Coil, X-Scissor, Earthquake. If I get the chance to set up with Coil, I will do. Ideally against a physical attacker. I then have Milotic, Fairy Ground, another unique type-in with Serene Grace, Toxic, Dazzling Gleam, Earth Power, Shore Up. Great type-in, should be able to live some hits, and Shore Up will let us get a bunch of HP back. But at first, I'm against Lorelei and her Ice team. I lead with Noivern and Dodrio, go for the Stone Edge on the Ninetales, and a Flare Blitz on Glaceon. I do massive damage to Glaceon, not quite taking it out. Blizzard does massive damage in return, takes out Dodrio, Noivern lands the Stone Edge, one-shots the Ninetales, and puts me in a pretty good position. I then send in my Ursaring as Rotom comes out. I go for another Stone Edge and protect with Ursaring. Glaceon unfortunately outspeeds, does take out my Noivern, but I'm able to get the Guts proc on Ursaring as the Flame Orb triggers. Zebstrika is then able to come out. I'm going to focus down the Glaceon here, because it's the biggest threat. I'm not as scared of Rotom. And Blizzard isn't going to... Blizzard still does so much to both Ursaring and Zebstrika. Scald then finishes off Zebstrika. Glaceon is super low now though. I honestly thought the Shadow Sneak would take it out. I think I got maybe a little bit unlucky with the rolls, but it's fine. Another Shadow Sneak is able to finish it off. I'm able to send in my Center Scorch, who is able to finish off the Rotom as well with an X-Scissor. Abomasnow then comes out with Baxcalibur. I'm able to double focus the Abomasnow here because Baxcalibur always clicks Protect. Turn 1. Well, it usually does, and it does this time as well. I go for the Shadow Sneak with Ursaring just to get a bit of chip damage. Coil with Center Scorch to get stronger. I then send out my Milotic. Go for the X-Scissor on Abomasnow. Go for the Dazzling Gleam with Milotic as Glaive Rush comes in on Center Scorch. Dazzling Gleam gets a crit. We one-shot the Baxcalibur, leaving just the Calyrex left. I'm able to go for X-Scissor and Earth Power, which does manage to take out the Calyrex and finish off Lorelei. I then make my way through to Bruno, lead with Ursaring against the Infinite, go for the Protect, go for a Shadow Punch as Infinite taunts. We do massive damage, and Shadow Sneak should hopefully finish off Infinite. And it does, which means no Stealth Rocks on my side of the field. Komodo then comes out, goes for Clanging Scales, gets its buff as it cuts its HP. I go for Drain Punch, do big damage, go for a Shadow Sneak, hope it takes it out. It does, and Komodo goes down. And my taunt wears off, so now I can't click Protect. Zacian then comes in. I go for the Shadow Sneak, because Behemoth Blade is going to finish off Ursaring. But I have Dodrio, who can come in for free. Thanks to that bit of chip, Fleur Blitz is now definitely going to finish off the Zacian. And down it goes. Shifu then comes in. I do switch out here because I want to preserve Dodrio for the Lucario later in the fight. I just send in my Milotic, who resists the Wicked Blow. Go for the Moonblast as another Wicked Blow comes in. One-shot the Urshifu because we're quad effective with very tight moves. And Milotic stays at half HP. I was debating switching here, and I do end up going out into Zebstrika because I want to preserve Milotic for later in the fight because it's got great typing into the fighting types. Zebstrikas get able to get a big chunk on Lucario. I then send Dodrio back in, finish off the Lucario with a Headlong Rush. No problem. I Am Valiant then comes in. I do decide to stay in. Aura Sphere doesn't take me out, just about. I survive on 21. But then a Moonblast does finish me off after Headlong Rush does massive damage to the Iron Valiant. I do have Noivern in the back with Sturdy, so I'm not too worried about this Iron Valiant, because Shadow Ball's going to do massive damage, Spirit Shackle's going to take out the Iron Valiant, and finish off Bruno. Then make my way through to Agatha. She leads with one of us Orcs, I don't know which one yet. I just U-turn out to find out which one it is. Send out Dodrio, who comes in on a taunt. It doesn't matter, I have all attacking moves, I'm able to U-turn out again, and take out the first of Agatha's mons with no problem, and taking 0 damage. I then decide to go back into Noivern, because it's one of my fastest mons, as Chien Pao comes out. I am able to live any one hit thanks to Sturdy, but Crunch does massive damage. I'm then able to do big damage in return. I then switch into Dodrio, U-turn out, and take out the Chien Pao. I was able to preserve Noivern, so now I have a sack later in the fight, and can get switch initiative. Fluttermane comes out, as I send out Zebstrika. Not the best matchup for Zebstrika. Physical attackers do a lot to Fluttermane, special attackers not so much. So I Volt Switch out, send in Dodrio once again, go straight for the Fleur Blitz after I tank a Shadow Ball, take out the Fluttermane, in comes Marshadow, I end up switching Dodrio out, going into Noivern, and sacking it. I can't really set up against the Marshadow because it has Spectral Thief, so I just go into my Milotic, go for Moonblast. It's a 2-shot. +1 Spectral Thief shouldn't take out Milotic, and Moonblast is able to finish off Marshadow. The Mega Gengar then does come out. We know this is Gengar because Zoroark's down. I could switch here, but I don't have a great switch, so I decide to stay in, go for the Earth Power, in case Gengar nasty plots, which it does. It gets greedy. We get some big damage off. With Earth Power, take it out, because once it Mega Evolves, it loses Levitate. What was Agatha thinking? Make It Rain takes out Melodic, but it did work. I'm then able to send in Dodrio one last time, go for the Flare Blitz on the Golden Go, and finish off the last member of Agatha's team. And next is Lance. He leads with Aerodactyl. I have slightly changed Noivern's moveset for this fight. I did end up getting rid of Curse. It wasn't working, so I put Taunt on instead. You turn out into Ursaring, get the Shadow Punch off, finish Aerodactyl off with the Shadow Sneak, preventing rocks on my side of the field. Meaning that Noivern will keep it sturdy. Dragonite then comes in. I switch out straight away into my Milotic, because it's the best matchup into Dragonite. It goes for the Dragon Dance. That's fine. I can actually click Toxic instead of Moonblast here, because I don't want to trigger the weakness policy while Multiscale is still active, because I'll do barely any damage. And then I'll have a super strong Dragonite to deal with. I then do go for Moonblast after Multiscale's broken. And I actually end up trading Milotic for Dragonite here, because I need the rest of the Mons for later in the fight. Down goes Milotic to the Extreme Speed, down goes Dragonite to the Toxic. I was debating switching in Zebstrika here, because I did give the Choice Scarf to Zebstrika for this fight, and took it off Dodrio. But I end up going to Noivern, as the Dialga does come in. I go for Spirit Shackle here, to get a bit of chip damage on the Dialga. And then the reason I took Curse off and put Taunt on was so that I can click Taunt this turn and basically prevent the Dialga clicking Rest for the next few turns. And I'm able to get hopefully able to get some big damage off. I send in Dodrio first. Go for the Flare Blitz. Do massive damage. I did give it the Herb Balloon, because I was expecting Dodrio. I was going to switch Dodrio on Melmetal instead, as it was clicking Earthquake, but it didn't work out that way. I send in Center Scorch next, click Earthquake, get the crit, down goes Dialga. I stay in against Iron Jug, go for the Stone Edge, I get another crit, kinda lucky, but we take it, and down goes the Iron Jugulus. Against Melmetal, I go for one Coil, because I know that means I'll be able to live and double Iron Bash. I go for another Earthquake, do massive damage to the Melmetal, almost take it out, but not quite. Here I send Dodrio back in, allow it to finish off the Melmetal, and leaving just the Salamence left. Unfortunately, I no longer outspeed because I've taken the Choice Scarf off Dodrio, so Dodrio just goes down to a Fire Fang. But Zebstrika does outspeed, Freeze Dry is quad effective, able to take out the Salamence, and there goes the last of Lance's Mons. This of course just leaves the champion, leading with Pheromosa. I lead Ursaring. Protect against the Triple Axle. It doesn't do too much. I'm able to get a bunch of HP back with Drain Punch. Go for the Shadow Sneak. Take out the Pheromosa without taking too much damage on Ursaring. Eternatus then comes in. I end up switching into Zebstrika here on the Dynamax Cannon, It does massive damage. I'm able to get a freeze dry off. Do about 50%. And another Dynamax Cannon finishes me off. I'm then able to go into Milotic, who's incredibly bulky. Goes for the Sludge Wave. I go for Moonblast. And we get the special attack drop. Yveltal then comes in. I go for another Moonblast. Do decent damage to Yveltal, but because of the Assault Vest, it tanks it pretty well. I go for the Toxic. I miss, obviously. Go for the Shore Up on the next turn, as Ditto then comes in. The champ, he doesn't really have a great answer to Milotic apart from the Metagross in the back. I go for Toxic, as Ditto is in. This time, Yveltal switches into the Toxic and I actually land it. And now Yveltal's on a timer. He keeps going for Oblivion Wing, which I'll take, because I'd much rather that than Dark Hole and the chance of falling asleep. Fortunately I resist Dark Hole, so it's always going to click Oblivion Wing. I'm going for Shore Up to stay healthy, because Milotic's really good against Yveltal, Eternatus, Ditto, and Miraidon. The only one I need to worry about is the Metagross. But I have other answers for that in the back. I am able to finish off the Yveltal with a Moonblast, and Miraidon comes in. I'm not really sure why Metagross isn't coming in, but I'll take it. I'm able to get another Toxic off, this time on Miraidon. The leftovers is slowly bringing me back to full HP, as Miraidon is setting up with Calm Minds. I go for the Moonblast, get the special attack drop yet again, and that Toxic is starting to really rack up. The only move Miraidon can hit me with is Hidden Power, because it has an electric move and a dragon move. So I'm not too worried about Miraidon, and I'm not really sure why it switched in. So I'd basically get Milotic back to full HP, and Miraidon goes down. No problem. Ditto then comes in. I'm still not seeing the Metagross for some reason. I don't know what the champion's doing, but I'll take it. I do just stay in, go for the Toxic, as Moonblast doesn't do too much to me. And I'm able to recover some HP back with my leftovers. I don't have a great switch to Moonblast, but I do go into Noivern, who resists it the best. Go for some damage with Spirit Shackle. Another Moonblast comes in. I live. Get a Citrus Berry. And I'm able to finish off the Ditto with one more Spirit Shackle. Eternatus then comes in. Goes for the Meteor Beam. Gets the +1 special attack. Finishes off Noivern. But Noivern did what it needed to do. I have a lot of mons to take care of Eternatus. I want to save Dodrio in the back for the Metagross, so I end up going into Milotic, because it's no big deal if it goes down at this point. It's done what it needs to do. It actually lives the Sludge Wave, finishes off Eternatus, leaving just the Metagross in the back. I don't switch because I don't need Milotic for the rest of the fight. It's literally just Metagross left. I go into Ursaring first to get a bit of chip with Shadow Sneak, to make sure that the Fleur Blitz from Dodrio is going to be able to take it out. I go into Center Scorch first. Again, hoping that Center Scorch will be able to do a bit more chip. Unfortunately, I get burned with Fire Punch, bring Metagross down super low, and Bullet Punch does take me out. As I said though, Dodrio can just clean up the fight with Fleur Blitz. I just wanted to give the other Mons a chance, and I wanted to avoid the chance for Zen Headbutt Flinch. I do avoid the flinch, but I did get the burn, so the RNG kind of evened itself out, and I'm able to beat the champion with this team of Sevii Mons. A lot of really good Mons, a lot of really cool typings. I think Rock Ghost on Noivern and Fairy Ground are completely unique. The rest are available in the games. But yeah, that was the Sevii Mons. Done.